Welcome in, everybody. What is going on? This is the Honolulu Blues Show presented by Prize Picks. I'm here with my boy Nick. We got a good episode, fun episode to talk about. Another heartbreaking loss. But before we get into things, just a little thing we got going on our Twitter. We got a signed TJ Hockenson Detroit Lions, nice embroidered football. You guys can go win it. All you have to do is go sign up with Prize Picks, download the Prize Picks app, create a new account, and deposit $10, which Prize Picks will match up to 100%, $100 of your match. So put in 10, you get 10, put in 20, you get 20, et cetera, et cetera. And then once you make that first deposit, you are entered to win. I honestly think we only have like 4 people entered right now. We're going to do the drawing. I believe the date was like November something. I don't know anyways, but it's around a month-ish. And we only have like 4 or 5 people signed up. So if you go sign up right now, your odds are going to be around 20% chance of winning a signed TJ Hockenson Lions ball. So pretty good odds there. TJ Hockenson, unfortunately, he didn't have a monstrous game like we might have needed him to. So we will get into that. But Nick, what is going on, my man? You rocking is that a Red Wings shirt I see?
Yes. So very funny story. About a month ago-ish, 3 weeks ago, I was watching a documentary about the Red Wings called Tough Guys. It's not about the Red Wings. It's about Bob Probert. The heavyweight title champion, hockey, boxing, dude. He was just the man, the myth, the legend. You couldn't beat him in a fight. Documentary about him called The Tough Guys. It's on Amazon Prime. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. I got a little drunk, intoxicated while I watched that, and then ordered a Bob Probert shirt. Forgot the Bob Probert shirt came, or like I forgot that I ordered it. And a month later, I guess 3 weeks later, about a week ago, I got this random package, and I was like, well, hopefully this isn't anthrax. We're going to open this up and see what it is. And so we opened it up, and it was this Bob Probert shirt. And I was like, all right, that's awesome. I'm glad I bought that t-shirt. So repping the Red Wings. First game is Thursday in 2 days. We got a hell of a season coming up. I don't love our odds to make the playoffs, but I'm going to watch every game regardless.
I mean, we should be better than we were last year. Yeah. The team should, if we don't make playoffs, I want to be like what the Tigers were this year, where we'll, lose a quality amount of games, but they'll be close games in which we were like, if we had the script flipped, on some of these games next year, we easily make the playoffs. Like the Tigers, granted, we missed it by like 10 games, but we played a hell of a second half. So if something happens like that, where the Red Wings start gelling second half, I will love that. But also,
go ahead. Go ahead. I think you're gonna lead me into what I'm about to say. So go ahead.
Perfect. Piston season is right around the corner as well. Cade Cunningham getting ready to make his debut. I believe his odds to win Rookie of the Year are still around plus 200, same as Jalen Green. Definitely go throw some money on that because
easy smash. Speaking of the Pistons, I was gonna relate it to that, but I love it that you took me there right away. I got an off Lions question about the Pistons, obviously. Ooh, do you retire number 33 Grant Hill's jersey?
How long? He wasn't with the Pistons a super long time.
I mean, I thought it was like 10 years, wasn't it? I mean, was it under a decade? Is that like the difference? Is that like one of the it's got to be longevity with us kind of thing? Oh, no, I was wrong. Detroit, just 6 years. Wow, that's crazy.
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
I probably wouldn't, but if we did throw him up in there, I would be opposed to that just because he did play in Orlando for 1, 2, 3, like
just as
5 seasons too. Yeah. And then even honestly Phoenix for a bit. But his prime years were obviously in Detroit, and he started in Detroit. So I could see it. He was obviously there for the championships too. But yeah, I could see it both ways. But for me, I probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I love Grant Hill, but I'm not putting it up. However, the one argument I get, or I can understand, I guess, is if we do hang his jersey up, we try his number, we get to hang up that sick ass teal jersey, and that jersey we rocked in the early, early 2000s, late 90s. That would be awesome to have that jersey just rocking in our rafters. So I'm all about that. But honestly, Grant Hill, I don't even think Matt Stafford should have his number retired as a Lion. I don't think Grant Hill should have it as a Piston.
Yeah, I think Grant Hill's on a similar comparison to Stafford, just not as with the team as long. But some news and notes on the Lions. Oh boy, the injuries are just getting worse and worse. We had the news of Quintez Cephas. He was ruled out of the game pretty fast. Didn't look good. Later, we found out broken collarbone. He is likely out the rest of the season unless the Lions make a miraculous turnaround, win 12 straight games, go 12-5, make the playoffs, win division, whatever, and we would have Cephas back for the playoffs. So
I've seen it happen.
Never know.
I've seen it happen.
Crazier things have happened in sports, So
that's exactly right. And the Quintez Cephas injury, the hit was late out of bounds, and I can't believe the refs didn't throw a flag on it. Terrible hit. Should have never even happened. He should have at least been penalized for it. Should be fined for it. You broke the dude's collarbone and ended a year. Like, that's terrible on an out-of-bounds tackle. Terrible.
And then it gets worse. We just placed Ragnar was on IR, but he is now opting into season-ending toe surgery, which, I mean, it makes sense. I kind of like it in the sense that we are 0-5. It's his feet. You don't want to have a lingering toe injury for your whole career. I'd much rather have him just take extra time, make sure it's right for next year when we maybe have a chance to win some extra games, make the playoffs, whatever. But as of now, we are down Ragnar, Okudah, Cephas, and Okora. So 4 starters on the team that will not be coming back this year.
And that is just dandy. But honestly, the season we were saying it all off season, like it's kind of a wash. It's tough. We're building depth with these injuries, honestly, and I'm kind of okay with it. I'm kind of okay with getting them some time off. I don't think some of these injuries are maybe season-ending injuries, but there's no reason to go out there and put your best players out, in my opinion, right now. There's just not. Like, I know we all want to see wins, and I'll still be rooting for wins. And yeah, maybe if we turn around and we're 10-5 by the time Cephas gets injured or gets healthy, we'll bring them back. But probably not going to happen. Let's just put these guys on IRs, bring up more people. That allows us, like, because if they're just injured and you don't put them IR or out for the year, then you can't bring someone up in place of them. So you have to, like, do something with them. Let's designate them. Let's get ready for next year. With the way we're playing teams this year, the Vikings, the Ravens were right in these games. The Niners came down to the last touchdown. The Packers, we were winning at halftime. Like, we're in these games. Our coaches are showing us they can do the right job. Anthony Lynn, Aaron Glenn, unbelievable play calling. Yeah, Dan Campbell has been righting any errors that he has had. He's had some hiccups in his first 4 games, but he is getting better every game. I think this team will make a serious playoff push next year. But this year, it's going to be a lot of talk about a lot of bad, tough games. But at least they're making them entertaining for us. It's not like Patricia. We're not getting blown out.
Exactly.
We're not losing.
40-0 blowout losses like the Texans are having.
We're not blowing.
These aren't, we're not blowing hugely led games like the Jaguars have done. Our coach isn't out partying at bars post-game like the Jaguars have with Urban Meyer. So things could be a lot worse than it is. At least we're getting, games we can watch till the end, because last year, I can't tell you how many times I didn't even care about missing the Lions game or just, all right, I'm turning this off. I'm flipping the red zone on. Enough of this. I can't take it. But now it's like, hey, now this is a 6-point game. We're still in this. This is a 3-point game. The Lions are constantly fighting. And it brings me to Dan Campbell's post-game speech, in which he got emotional, and it just showed how much a win and just this team means to Dan Campbell. Matt Patricia, after that game, takes an analytical approach, says we got to focus on next week, and just hardly comments on it. Dan Campbell showed that this hurt, man. This hurt not just him, but the whole Lions team, Lions fan base, organization, everyone. We know the bad luck, the bad kicks, the bad breaks, and Dan Campbell is starting to, feel what it's like to be a Lions fan. And, my mom honestly made up a great point. You got to fail first sometimes to succeed. And honestly, Dan Campbell he's losing some of these close games, but I would much rather have losing off of a field goal than getting blown out or having no chance at winning the game.
I agree. I do. I love Dan Campbell, and you have to fail forward. Like, you're gonna fail, and as long as you can turn that into a positive and succeed from it, as you mentioned, as your mom, Mary, mentioned, there you go, shout out, mom. That's awesome. The thing is, though, in the NFL, you don't have time to fail. Like, you just don't have time. Like, if we go 0-17, you can't bring Dan Campbell back. He's got to win a game. Got to win a game.
Even if we have, let's say Rodgers Hail Marys us, and then we get another game where
we just have like bone crushing losses. All year.
Yeah, exactly. Where he's still okay. That's interesting. I mean, honestly, I like that. That's a good tweet we're gonna have to put out. If Dan Campbell goes 0-17, do you fire him after this year? And for me, I definitely think you consider it. I think there would be some things to look at. I mean, the team he inherited and just what's happened, you just got to factor some of that in. Honestly, if Goff were to go down, I'm not sure it would make even any difference. It might help the Lions, in fact, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But that's an interesting point. If the Lions don't get a win, is it 100% canned for Campbell, or is there any hope? So we'll be putting that on Twitter. I like that question, Nick. Wish Julius was here to break the tie on this, but unfortunately he is not. We'll get his thoughts next week. So before we get into the game, Nick, we are going to be doing a weekly segment of who the hell can help the Detroit Lions. And this week we are doing movie characters. So, Nick, who the hell can help the Detroit Lions? Name any movie character that's going to do it for us.
My immediate thought was to go right to MCU. I mean, they're superheroes, right? Like, these are like crazy superheroes. My immediate thought was, it would be so like, and I'm trying to just be super like on the field, not go too crazy, but just the fact to have the Hulk at defensive end. Like, can you imagine being the left tackle, right? The left tackle and just lining up against the Hulk.
Quarterback's just constantly like, ready.
We're going to need triple coverage on this guy, bro. We need all of our blockers, everyone on this guy. Hulk would just throw him out of the way, grab the quarterback, throw him back for a safety. They'd never be able to score. Easy money. And I want to see him running back. I don't need him like running a bunch, getting too except like he'll get gassed. You know what I mean? Like, get him at defensive end, just quick sprints, quick bursts, bro. Get the quarterback, end his day. Call it a day. So I would love the Hulk to be on our defensive line.
That's a great choice. Have you ever seen the movie Ted 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know the actor, but there's a scene in the movie where Ted and Mark Wahlberg, I forget the guy's name in the movie. Ted and Mark Wahlberg, they break into a house and they try to extract something from an actor. I don't know, whoever the actor was, I want that guy on my team. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, that is deep. I can't think of who it is, but if I could have anyone, I would take that actor for that movie playing that character. I can't think of who it is. All right, it's Tom Brady, guys. Brady played the role.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, I know you're talking about Tom Brady.
I was trying to think deep into this, in which what football players have been in movies, and I was like, Tom Brady was in Ted too.
Tom Brady,
Absolutely.
Brett Favre, Joe Montana. I can't think of any others right now, but
there's been a few. There's a lot
Dan Marino. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So either of them would have helped out in this Vikings game, but we head on into Minnesota, in which we got the ball first, and it seems going pretty good. The Lions came out and put up 3 quick, in which Anthony Lynn seems like he seems phenomenal now for what this team is and just how many scoring opportunities we've had. Hats off to Anthony Lynn right now. I mean, I'm really impressed with his signing. And I will say, there was not rumors, but I did see one post by, I think it was Pro Football Talk, saying that Anthony Lynn could possibly go to USC, which I would absolutely hate. But the fact that is even murmured or brought up is awesome, because it just goes to show that he's doing a great job. Nick, are you disappointed on this first drive? Did you think this should have led to 7? Because it looked great, and we only got 3 out of it.
I'm not disappointed. Yeah, obviously I
Yeah.
want a touchdown for sure, but I'll take 3 points. I need our offense to go down there and get points on every drive, whether that's a field goal every single drive. You got 10 drives, that's 30 points. That's fine with me. That is a good
And
day.
honestly, that's kind of what we were doing this first half and even the fourth quarter. And it was really the third quarter in which we just kind of stalled out and didn't do much. And I'll get to that in a minute. But then the Vikings, they get the ball back and they march and they get down there. Justin Jefferson tearing us apart. And it seemed like an easy 7 points for the Vikings, but we stopped them in the red zone. Only led to 3 for the Vikings, tied it up 3-3. Then the Lions marched back down, and here's where it became a Lions game and a kind of a rookie moment for our boy Penei Sewell. We get down into the red zone, and in back-to-back plays, Penei Sewell just gets whipped by Everson Griffin, former Detroit Lion. And Nick, what are some of your thoughts on this? Are you concerned about any of this, or is this just a 20-year-old getting smoked by a bigger grown man?
Yeah, it's just getting acquainted with the NFL. And the more you play in the NFL, the more the defensive coordinators will understand how to beat you. The defensive players that watch film will understand how to beat you and what tendencies you like to start doing, where the trends are at. And they will take note of that, especially a veteran like Everson Griffin. When you go up against him, especially as a rookie, a young rookie who hasn't played in a year coming into this season, you're going to get burnt. As long as the motto of this show, you fail forward. You are going to fail. That's going to come with life. That's going to come with this team this year. Learn from it. Get better from it. Understand, like, he was beating Penei Sewell. Like, Sewell was on the ground. Like, he would use his leverage against him. It was terrible.
The first one, he just literally tossed Penei to the ground, which I was pretty surprised that Everson Griffin still has that in him. He's an older defensive end, but yes, he's still got some juice left in the tank. I know he was a stud back in his heyday. Looks like he still got it. It was a nice. I think that was honestly Penei's first welcome to the NFL. He's obviously had a couple. I mean, yeah, he's had
last week wasn't good either.
That is true, but I think the back-to-back ones were the real. I should say, making him realize, all right, I'm still 20 years old.
Yes.
I still have growing to do. This is going to happen again this year. And I think with the last game against the Bears, he might have brushed it off, but now back to back, he's feeling what it is to be like as a rookie left tackle.
Yes. And I don't want to be too negative on it because we all have positive hopes and vibes for him, especially on the show. But I will say that fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. And if there comes a third time, what the hell are we doing? You know what I mean? Even though I said that saying backwards, it's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're just going to move past that. Basically, this. I don't want this to become a trend, but 2 games in a row is the start of a trend. In fantasy football, you and me, we both know if you see two games in a row happen, you start to think, okay, is this going to be something that's going to continue? Now, I don't want that to continue, but it's something that we need to be looking at almost a little bit more than what we were. Make sure we're eyeing him specifically during football games when we watch him, when we rewatch him. Don't watch the ball, but rewatch Penei Sewell. Like, this is our future right here. All right, this is our guy. And everyone and their mother came out saying this dude needs to play left tackle. I don't care about Taylor Decker and the amazing all-pro-ish season he had last year. I don't even want any of that. I want the new sports car, and that's Sewell. Well, now that sports car in Michigan in December 30th with a foot of snow is slipping and sliding a little bit. And maybe you just need that nice
F-150, man.
Or F-150. Exactly, bro. So
I like that point. That's a hell of a point, Nick. If we have Decker in that game, we honestly might win that game because Penei Sewell gave up sack and then sack fumble. And then I believe that was when the Vikings marched down and scored a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think it was just a field goal. I think it was 6-3 at that point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so they did come down. They only got a field goal out of it, but
Shout
still,
out to the defense.
we would have had at least 3 in the bag there, and that flipped the script. So,
well, that's been the curse of our season right now. It has been, we have gotten to the red zone on 95% of our drives, it seems like. When will this end? When will this curse end?
yeah, is this honestly?
I don't know what we got to do, but I'll do it.
Playing with us still, or what? But
no, real quick. Like it's like 95% of our drives we are down in the red zone. We have barely been punting this year. We've been going for on fourth down, but we haven't been going for on fourth down on our own 10. Like we have been moving the ball, matriculating it down the field. We also have, I don't know exactly, but at least, and this is not an exaggeration, 5 or 6 turnovers inside our own, like inside the opponent's 40-yard line. Maybe 5 inside the opponent's red zone. Maybe 2 inside the opponent's 10. Like we are getting the ball down there. Anthony Lynn is calling perfect plays. Jared Goff is executing most times out of not on these plays. We have the 7th most first downs per drive or per play in the NFL. That's Kansas City, Dallas, Chargers, Browns, some of the top teams, and the Lions. Our offense isn't terrible. We are doing this. It's just the turnovers. The turnovers are killer. They suck the wind right out of everything. And we come back and we have another good drive and then a turnover. Like it is terrible. Whether it's a drive, whether it's a turnover of the ball or a turnover on downs, we have to clean that up. We have to.
And honestly, this fumble that Goff had, it's been like a trend. And this isn't just a trend of this year. This is like past. Like he had this in the when he was a Rams quarterback. So for me, I'm thinking they have to just start doing drills of where players or coaches, trainers, whatever, are just swatting at his hands at the ball. Just allow Goff to just.
It's risky. You'd hate to get a hand injury in practice.
That's a great point too, which I didn't even think about. So it's
tough,
honestly,
bro. He got small hands, doesn't he? Doesn't he have small hands?
He does. And that's always been the thing, baby hands off. But I don't know. Because I've seen it multiple times before where quarterbacks, they literally will have the ball right here and a linebacker, defensive lineman, whatever, will tackle them like down by the ball. And they'll still hold on to it. You see it all the time where you'll see a quarterback go, how did he hold on to that? And even Tom Brady at 44 years old, multiple times, we'll see him just get hacked in the arm, tuck it down, take the sack. And it seems like Goff, once he gets that chop, the ball goes flying. And I don't like that it's been exposed in back-to-back games. And I can guarantee you the rest of the NFL takes note and is going to be going for that. And we're going to see it at least one more time. But moving on, the Vikings, they had another good drive before half to make it 13-3. It was looking like 13-3 at half. But wait, Lions had a phenomenal 9-play, 41-yard drive, minute 40 to get down. We got 3 on the board to cut it to 13-6 at halftime, which was excellent, honestly, for what that had happened in that first half. We had plenty of opportunities. The Vikings seemed like they should have been just spanking us, but 13-6 going to half, we'll take it. So coming out of half, the third quarter, that was tough for us. I believe the Vikings got the ball and they went 3 and out real quick. And the whole turning point was we made another great drive down in the red zone, and Jared Goff throws an interception in which I have no idea how a linebacker, Eric Kendricks, reaches like all the way back, like 3 feet to snag a ball as a linebacker. Literally, man, like OBJ out there. Granted, Goff should have seen him, shouldn't have thrown the ball, but I'm just like, this should have been batted into the ground. But it's the Lions, and the ball sticks on defenders' hands. So
you tip your hat to the defender. Like, just great catch. Just great catch. I don't blame Jared Goff for that. I think that's a great read. I think it's a good read. I think that's the read he wanted. He threw the ball right where he should have. Defender made an amazing play. You tip your hat to him. You look forward. We're still only down 7 at this point. You know, we had a turnover, but life goes on. Okay. Down 7. That's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. So It wasn't the worst thing in the world because I think they went 3-and-out real quick and punted back to us. And then, yeah, we exchanged punts. So it was a little punt fest in the third quarter. And
Test
then
run.
the Vikings got the ball back and they make another march back down, looking like they're going to put the game away with another touchdown to go up 20-6. And then all of a sudden, I'm not sure who tipped it, but we did get a tip the line, kind of bounced around. And Anzalone comes up with the interception. Finally, make it a play.
I love Anzalone. Kid's been making play ever
Big
since we got rid of Jamie Collins. Anzalone's been our best defender. 2 interceptions in 2 consecutive weeks, I believe, or at least that might be not right, but like a sack last week.
He did.
He had a sack when we had 4
Maybe
sacks.
fumble recovery.
Fumble. He's all over the place, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The guy, Fabio, as I've been saying, I had to tweet out Fabio with the pick. The guy looks like a beast running around out there. And now that he's not doing Jamie Collins' job, he's just doing his job. It's perfect. The guy is a keeper. He was a great sign. I knew he would be. There's a reason we made him captain. He is playing like a captain. He is one of the reasons why the Baltimore Ravens could only score 19 points against us. He's one of the reasons why the Minnesota Vikings could only score 19 points with us when Justin Jefferson had 100 yards at halftime. They only had 13 points. They only got 6 more points the rest of the game. Our defense held the Vikings to 6 points in the second half. And people out there saying like our defense is still mediocre and or below average. Get out of the rock you're under, dude. The Lions defense right now is stellar. One of the best defenses in the league. And you can argue with your mother if you want to. Like, I do not care. Give me the Lions defense over 15 other defenses in the league right now.
I agree. And especially with the talent we have on the field. And maybe it is just, bad players playing better, or we're just having good coaching, or we do have some diamonds in the rough, like Charles Harris, who has now, I want to say 4 straight games with the sack, has been just
franchise record.
He is looking, like he's going to be our kind of nice hit in free agency, in which hopefully
Go ahead.
I have to say, hopefully he could make up for the Jarrett Davis bust pick, in which he was picked just a couple picks after, went to the Falcons, didn't really bloom with the Falcons, showed a couple flashes here and there, but ended up getting cut like Davis did, and lo and behold, finds the Lions and is seeming like he's doing pretty well with us.
I love him. He's our Romeo Okora from last year. Yes. Sadly, Romeo Okora is out with an Achilles, right?
Yep. Yes. So
yet another.
Yeah.
Back in on the list. You know what I mean?
And honestly, 2 Achilles injuries to 2 starters.
I know.
Such bad injuries. I know. Such bad injuries. Hopefully Okora can bounce back off of it. I mean, we are seeing, to touch in on Achilles injuries, I will say, if you watch the Bills-Chiefs game, Emmanuel Sanders tore his Achilles when he was 31 years old. He's looking pretty dang good at 34. Marlon Mack averaged 9.4 against the Ravens the other night. He tore his Achilles last year. There's been a couple other instances, but my belief is, granted, they play different positions, but I think the technology, the medicine, the rehabilitation, I think it's so much better, gotten better just the last few years, where players just come back a little bit quicker. We saw it with Kevin Durant in basketball. He's literally looking like primetime KD. So who knows?
Not as intense of a sport.
Yeah, I will say. But let me bring up another point. One of my buddies brought this up. Would you be opposed to moving Okudah to safety? Because obviously cornerback takes a little bit more footwork. Safety, we know he could tackle, make hard hits, big plays. If he's not as fast, as quick on his feet, would you be opposed to keeping him at the safety or moving him to safety?
No, not at all. Would I be opposed to it? I would be opposed to it if he is like strongly adamant against it and doesn't want to be in that position. Like, I'm not going to try to force this guy into it, but ultimately you got to do what's best for the team. You got to do what's best for the player. I don't think there's that much of a difference when it comes to safety and cornerback salaries, like there is like a tight end wide receiver position, But if he excels at safety, great. If we don't, I don't want to just immediately go to that. Yeah. I most definitely am giving him an opportunity to come back and play cornerback. I am 1,000% going to do that. And if it turns out in a year that that's just not right, he is not cut for it, then I will start to really take interest in that idea. But off the bat, off the rip of him coming right back from injury, no. Let him be back at cornerback. I still have faith in the kid. Not a lot, but some.
I agree. And we'll just have to hope and pray, I guess, from here. So back to the game. The Lions will just pick up on this tough drive we had. And this was honestly a pretty big turning point. Lions marched down the field. It's still 6-13 game. Just the start of the fourth quarter. We were marching down. We get to the Vikings 42-yard line. It was 44-yard line, 3rd and 6. We only get a 2-yard play. So it's 4th and 4 at the Vikings 42. And here's where things get interesting. Dan Campbell, Mr. Aggressive, Mr. Go for it, down by 7, decides to take a penalty and then punt. And then what happened out of all this was we punted it in the end zone, giving them the ball at the 20, allowing honestly a 22-yard swing after all this because we took a penalty in which we kind of intentionally took. So
I think it's even less than that. Where was the ball at? Wasn't it at the 42-yard line?
yeah.
And I think the ball comes out to 25 on a punt touchback, doesn't it?
Okay. It might. I'm not sure. 20 or 25, regardless.
I think it's 25. That's still,
Okay.
no, not a lot of yards.
So do you think, Nick, at the beginning, it was 9:47 left in the fourth. Do you think this should have been gone? Do you think we should have went for it? Or do you think, keep it conservative? Defense has been playing good. Jack Fox normally drops a dime, keeps it inside the 10, sometimes the 5, sometimes the 3. So thoughts?
Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. You know what I mean? That's from The Office, if anyone's seen that show. Keep it simple, stupid. I think this was the way to go. We didn't need a 4th and 4, go for it. And I know Brandon Staley's over there with the Chargers doing it. But Brandon Staley has Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Jared Cook, and Justin Herbert. We do not have those players. We have seen our 4th down attempts this year. We have complained about our 4th down attempts this year. At least I have. So this is what I alluded to in the very, very beginning of the show. Cycling it all right back around 30 minutes into the show, bringing it back up. This is where Dan Campbell has progressed. These are the kinds of plays and calls and coaching calls that needed to be better. We didn't need to be going for it on 4th down on every play with the team we have. Unfortunately, we don't have a successful team filled of skilled players. We have a team that's going to beat you in a grind in a 60-minute game. So I don't want to be going for 4th and 4 all of the time. There are certain times I do like it. This time was not one of them. It is a chess game. There was plenty of time. At this point, our defense had allowed 0 points in the second half. We had been shutting them out. So I wasn't worried about Minnesota just trucking down the field. Adam Thielen still hadn't caught a ball. Well, he caught one, but it was called back on a penalty.
Yeah. And
so yeah, I mean, I'm very okay with the punt.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think Dan Campbell will start to realize that he's got to use every weapon he has. And Jack Fox is a weapon. And
Absolutely.
yeah, he put the ball in the end zone, but literally it hit right 1 to 2 yards deep and bounced straight up. If this would have been 2 yards back on like the 1 or 2 yard line, it bounces straight up and lands on the 1 or 2 yard line. I'm 100% confident that Jack Fox makes that punt 99 times out of 100 at least.
There was a punt earlier in the game in the first half. Sorry to cut you off, but real quick for Jack Fox, he bombed it. It dropped the Abdullah is watching it, and it hits the 5 yard line, bounces straight up in the air, and just comes back down and dies on the 5 yard line. Like it didn't move. Like it just bounced, went up in the air, and just came back and died. Didn't do a thing. That's how good Jack Fox is. You trust Jack Fox there. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes. As a team, you go pick him up. When a quarterback throws an interception, your defense goes and picks him up. You know what I mean? In basketball, if you throw an alley-oop but overthrow it, your team comes and picks you up after. Like this is what you do in a team organization. So it is okay that he messed up, and it is okay that Dan Campbell elected to punt the ball, and our defense did exactly what we needed to do.
Exactly. Kind of. We did allow them to get a field goal in which it put it to 16-6. Seeming like this game was going to be over. The Lions had a couple last.
Not even yet. Like this was still maybe. It was like 3 minutes to go, and we had to give the ball back to him, and we were down 10. That's when it really was like.
Well, yeah, we get. We had a. I believe, we got the ball out. That was it. We had a penalty that got us up into kind of Vikings territory. We got to about the 45 yard line. And then Goff, or no,
It was pick, right?
Yeah, we got to the Vikings 45-yard line, and then Goff took a sack, which took us back to our 45-yard line. It was 4th and 15, 3:43 left in the fourth, down by 10. We go for it, didn't get it. So then the Vikings get the ball back. And
on their own, 30.
Yeah, on their own 30. Nothing really happens. They try to run the ball a couple times.
Goal. He missed the field goal.
So, yeah, they get to 4th and 7, 49-yard field goal. He missed.
And it was 4 yards short. What is this kicker doing?
And then, so the Lions get the ball back. We good field position on the Detroit 39. March down, get all the way down to the 22. And it ended up being 4th and 10. I'm really happy that Campbell took the field goal here. Didn't try to go for it on a 4th and 10.
Yes.
Siebert drilled another one in which I believe he made a 50-yarder and a 40-yarder in this game, in which he looked pretty good. And I shouldn't say super impressed, but I'm satisfied is what I'll say.
Yes,
with how he's been kicking.
I love Austin this year. I'm all about Siebert. Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, Bengals are probably regretting not having him right now.
Oh man, what a game that was.
We'll get to that Packers-Bengals game, in which why couldn't the Vikings had one of those kickers, man?
I had money on the Packers, that's why.
So we get a field goal there, cut it to a 7-point game, 2 minutes 30 seconds left. I want to say the Lions.
No way we can win this game.
Exactly.
Right?
Lions only had one timeout left.
No.
The fact that we had one timeout and there was still 2 minutes 30 seconds left meant the Vikings had to run the ball and couldn't really just knee it out. For some reason, Alexander Madison tried to fight for a few extra yards, and then Jalen Reeves-Maybin, or it says Jalen Reeves-Maybin and Amani Warrior knocked the ball out, and Reeves-Maybin recovered it. So Lions.
Oh, wait. We got to start calling Jalen Reeves-Maybin Germ.
How great is that?
Tell everyone why we got to call him Germ.
Because his name, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, JRM, and Dan Campbell, Germ. He's Germ. I love it.
So Germ and Amani stripped this ball with 2 minute or minute 50 to go, or what was it?
Yeah, there was when they stripped the ball. Yeah, it was the 2-minute warning we recovered it at. So we had 2 minutes to score a touchdown on the Vikings 20-yard line. Didn't take long for the Lions. We hit a nice pass to Amon-Ra for 10 yards, and then Swift rushed it in easily. And then, Nick, what were you thinking? I was screaming, go for 2. Let's win this. Do it, Dan Campbell. You're aggressive. This is your time. Were you wanting to go for 2 on this, or would you have tried to play for overtime?
I need to bring my buddy on who I was watching the game with, Eric. Shout out, Mr. Eric. We were watching this game, and well before any of this even happened, we were still down by 10 with 3 minutes. And I told him, I said, if somehow we come back and it comes down to the last play of the game, Lions aren't going to go for a tie. I can guarantee you we're going to go for 2. Well, then the following occurred, and we got down to this point. It wasn't the last play of the game, obviously, but we scored that touchdown, and I was saying, we're going to go for 2, dude. Dan Campbell isn't going to play for overtime. He's not kissing his sister today. Not today. Not today. We're going for 2. Did I think we were going to get it? No, I didn't. I thought that's how we were going to lose the game. I was like, we're going to go for 2 and we're going to lose, and then that's what we're going to talk about on the Honolulu Blues.
It seemed like it, and it seemed like a bad play at start. Goff was pressured up the middle, backed out, rolled to his left, and found Kaderil Hodge, one of our kind of late signings. He was a guy that was cut from the Browns. We signed him, brought him in. He's going to be getting a lot more looks next week now that Quintez is down, and Tom Kennedy hasn't been all healthy either. And Hodge just made another big play, so he will definitely get more looks and targets. But Lions go up 17-16, and boy, oh boy, every Lions fan's thinking, no way. 37 seconds. This isn't a minute 9. This isn't Aaron Rodgers. This is Kirk Cousins. We've held him in check all game. We got this. We just blew this against the Ravens. And what do the Lions do? We play prevent. We allow a big old. Let me see how long that first.
Right,
play
even
was.
before all this happened, you and I both tweeted out one of the most similar tweets ever, and I said, I said, if what's his name? My guy, I can't remember his name. Whatever Joseph, Curtis Joseph.
Yeah.
No, Curtis Joseph is a goalie from Greg Joseph. Okay, yeah. If Greg Joseph hits a 70-yard field goal to beat us, I'm burning a couch. And I was dead serious. I'd go right outside. I was going to burn my couch.
And mine, if I was like, hey, man, Greg Joseph can't hit a 66-yarder,
right.
can he?
Right? Like, no way. No.
And sure enough, man, they get a 21-yard pass to Adam Thielen, who's
his
been
first catch of the day,
absent all game, done nothing, and somehow appears. Lions call timeout. I'm sorry. The best part about that was he was a 21-yard catch. He gets out of bounds at the Minnesota 39. They are very well in field goal range territory-ish. Next play, or no, he was in bounds. Vikings did call timeout. My bad. But timeout, 27 seconds left. And then here's where I thought this was the big play that we needed. We tackled D.D. Westbrook for 6 yards in bounds. And then I will say I didn't factor in that the Vikings had one more timeout, but it made them burn their final timeout. So no timeouts left, 22 seconds left.
We still have a chance.
A 19-yard pass to Adam Thielen, another burner. Jerry Jacobs was covering him at the time. He did have a good game on Adam Thielen, but when it mattered, he didn't have it. And I don't know if this was just Jacobs was closest man too, and they credit him with the coverage, and it was prevent D, or if Jacobs was actually manned up with Thielen, and we were playing some other prevent D. So then they get the ball to the Detroit 36 on that spike ball. Greg Joseph, game-winning, career-long 54-yard field goal. Team has never lost to two 50-yard field goals, walk-offs in an NFL season. Lions did it in 5 games. What were you thinking after this?
Another record breaker. Woo! Put our name in the record books, man.
And bro, it was 19-17 too. This is the 3rd game in Lions history where we have lost to a player's career-long field goal, coming into a 19-17 loss. Like, how bizarre.
I did not know that. I know it happened the past 2, but my theory was there was a lot of good things. Like, that sucks. That really stinks. And we saw the emotion from Dan Campbell after, and that was really tough. But as soon as he went to kick it, you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going through the uprights, and it did. And he did his job. That's what you're supposed to do in the NFL. Good for them. Aaron Glenn called a great, unbelievable defensive game all game. I don't agree with the prevent defense in the final 48 seconds, but that's easier said than done, because then you get man on man, you run a regular play, and someone gets burnt for 85 yards.
Playmakers. They got Justin Jefferson, and don't get me wrong, Adam Thielen hadn't done anything, but he's still a guy that can make.
Yeah, obviously came through in the last drive. Yeah, exactly. So ultimately, like, there were positives from this, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his 2nd straight game that he looked unbelievable, and it looks like he's now Jared Goff's favorite target. And we all expected that. It took a couple games, but we're getting to where and I honestly, for Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1,000 yards isn't out of the picture yet. It really, really isn't. You give me 2 140-yard games, which he's very capable of, it's gonna be a good time. Something else to note: we have been controlling the game. Now, we haven't been like leading and in control of the game score-wise, but we set the tone, because almost every drive we have meticulously gets down that field, as I was saying earlier. That's controlling the game. That's controlling the game streak. You don't allow the Vikings. I don't remember the last time the Vikings only scored 19 points against us. Even before,
great point.
Even before what's his name? I can't remember his name. Matt Patricia. Like, the Vikings put up points against us. They did. Their running game would always go. Our defense was looking stellar. So shout out them. Shout out Charles Harris, which we already did. Anzalone, which we did. Amani Aurore does not get a shout out. Got burnt by Jefferson. I love Amani Aurore. Jefferson beat him. So that was really tough to see. But our safeties came to play a little bit better than normal. It was all right, all in all.
Listen to this. So obviously the Vikings extended their 7-game win streak to 8 against the Lions. But here's how many points they have scored. previously to this one we just had. 37, 20, 20, or no, I'm sorry, 37, 34, 20, 42, 27, 24, and 30.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They
19,
score.
this was, and I posted this tweet earlier in which the Lions were a 10-point road dog. We had no business being in this game. We made this game competitive, fun, watchable till the last second. Granted, it was a gut-wrenching loss, but it was nice to get through a full Lions game without shutting it off at the halfway point. And we mentioned this in the beginning of the show, in which there was plenty of Patricia games where I was shutting the TV off. But now, if this team is down 14 points in the fourth quarter, I'm watching. Yeah. I have faith that they can come back, that they will fight to the last second, and that they won't give up on their coach like we kind of saw with Matt Patricia at some points. Yeah. So the Vikings game, there's a lot of good things to take away. And it's just that Dan Campbell is slowly learning. And honestly, I can see a time where the Lions are playing the Vikings, whoever, and we're up 2-3 points, whatever, and it's a crucial game, have to win it, a playoff game, gets us in the playoffs, whatever. But Dan Campbell thinks about this game and thinks about the prevent defense he ran and does something different, and we win the important game instead of winning this not so much important game. Yeah, it would have been nice to win a game, put a win on the board, but this is a losing season start.
Are we in tank mode? Are we in give us one win and that's it? Or are we still rooting for a win every single week?
I mean,
playoffs are still available.
Hey man, if we could do it, if we somehow Goff goes crazy,
then we're not in tank mode. This answer right there. That's all I need to hear. We aren't in tank mode yet. We're not in tank mode. We still can make the playoffs, bro. Also, shout out Deandre Swift. Good morning football, septing winning, angry runs winner, Deandre Swift. He trucked a dude 6 yards back. Trucked that dude in the last week. Like, that poor dude has a family. Swift, you ruined his life. You won angry runs. That's a tongue twister. You won angry runs and ruined a guy's life at the same moment. Way to go, Deandre Swift. That is my dog. I'm glad him and Jamal Williams are killing it. They are both so, they're both so productive on the ground and through the air and in blocking. It is amazing. What a tandem. It won't get talked about enough because the team just isn't winning. But under the radar, these two running backs are both fantasy starters, both supreme running backs of the NFL. It is great. And that's how we're controlling the game. We are able to run and get 5 yards a carry. It is amazing. So shout out them. Shout out Swift.
Yeah, man. They are literally getting 100 yards a game combined between the two. And honestly, if one is out, the other can pick up the workload with no problem. Obviously, we know that with Swift, but Jamal Williams, no problem being the starter there. And then just to touch back on the Deandre Swift run, that did not look like Deandre Swift out there. That looked like Deandre, I'm going to run your ass over.
It looks like Hulk.
Yeah, man. Who knew? Swift, he has every trick in the book. We've seen him break ankles. We've seen him jump defenders. We've seen him make spin moves. And now he can lay the truck stick? Come on, man. This guy, I'm loving Swift more and more. He's 100% going to be my next Detroit Lions jersey purchase.
Yes, absolutely. So today I'm drinking this Dogfish Head.
Pumpkin.
It's called Pumpkin Ale, and you can't see it because the light is right there. But I bring this Pumpkin Ale up because I got something to pumpkin about, all right? I am 2-0 when going to the Detroit Lions game with the family, okay, with my dad, all the brothers and sisters, the whole Faber gang. We light it up, okay? We once went and saw the Bears. First game as a family, it was great. Got to win. Second game, we go to Thanksgiving game against Minnesota, get a pick by Darius Slay with 30 seconds left. Matt Prater hits a 53 game-winning yard field goal. Amazing. The whole crowd erupts. And this week, the Lions are going to be treated. They're going to be blessed with our presence in the Ford Field Arena. And we're going to go out there, and this will be the first victory. So I'm extremely excited to watch this game and get the big victory for the Lions, because I feel like the Lions can't do it without the Faber squad there. So we had to go make sure that Campbell didn't go 0-17. So we're going to the game. I just want to make sure I pumpkin talked about that.
I'm glad you're doing that, Nick. I mean, it's tough to watch the Lions right now, but you just have to get out there to get the win on the board. I understand.
Got to do it for the boys. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Dan Campbell, you saw how emotional he got. You just got to take measures into your own hands.
We weren't going to go to the game until we saw Dan Campbell crying, and we were like, all right.
That tears it.
It's time. We're going to have to do it, So, yeah. Let's go.
So, yeah, we face the Bengals this week, in which, man, I wish the Bengals now would have just beat the Packers.
That would have been great.
The Packers and want the Packers to lose at all times. But because I don't want them coming in off of a tough loss, pissed off, and just ready to pummel the Lions. Because the Bengals, they have looked pretty good. They have some solid wins. They've shown they can compete with the Packers. We show we compete with the Packers, but it's going to be a good game. I predicted this as a win and the beginning of our prediction show, whatever we did that, but I wasn't expecting the Bengals to be this good. I do think the Lions can get a win. I still think the Bengals and Burrow still have a couple flaws they make. Burrow, obviously, he made that big interception to start overtime, which should have led to the game ending right then and there. But Mason Crosby missed another one, in which me and my dad, we were just laughing our asses off because we started having flashbacks in which the Lions, it was the last time I think the Lions beat the Packers. We're playing
Mason.
Mason Crosby hit the crossbar like 4 times and missed like 5 times.
Yeah.
And what happened was the Packers were just staying in this all game. And then Crosby would just miss a field goal. And it was doinking too. And then finally, the Packers come down, tie the game up. Rodgers is geeked. Overtime, he's winning this. And then Crosby hits the crossbar or whatever on the extra point. And Lions are going to have this. And then the best part was they recover the onside kick. And we're like, come on. They're going to win this with a walk-off field goal. And what does Crosby do? He missed it again. The Lions won 23-22 or 22-21.
Was that our last victory against Packers?
I believe so. It's either the last one in Green Bay. But regardless, we know Mason Crosby can do that. And then how about Eddie McPherson? I've never seen this before. He celebrated before the kick went through the post.
Oh, it's so geek.
And I know exactly what he did. He kicked that puppy. It looked so good, and he turned away and said, "You want it, boys."
He did.
But little did he know there was some wind in that stadium, and he maybe had a little extra on it, and it just wide left.
Hit the flag.
Oh,
hit the flag, dude.
And it made for an awkward moment. And do you think, because his teammates kind of celebrated with him too, and I think he almost convinced his team that I made it. And then they were like, oh, no, he actually didn't made it. I knew it.
That was a great play-by-play. That's 100% what happened. If you haven't seen it, you don't even need to go watch it because that was just a great play-by-play. That's exactly what happened. And I saw the entire thing the exact same way you did, Adam, and I laughed. And I said, don't count your eggs before they hatch. Don't count your money before you cash out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just don't.
And then, so the Bengals game, here is another one of our, not, easy games, but if the Lions win, I think every Lions fan can agree that they wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, the Lions beat the Bengals. What? They're good, but they're definitely beatable. And at home, after, a couple tough losses, you got to imagine the team is probably going to play the hardest they've played all year to at least start the game just for Dan Campbell, because we know how much the players, love the coach and how much it means for him. So obviously, Joe Mixon, he did seem to have an ankle injury coming into this week, was questionable, seeming like he wasn't going to play. All of a sudden he plays, looks great, and was limited a bit. So I expect Mixon to come out firing against us. I think him and the 3 Musketeers, in which Chase, Boyd, and Higgins are going to be the keys. If we can just lock them down, I am 100% confident in our offense and Dinkin and Duncan. And I think the biggest key of the game is just take the 3 points, because I'm almost positive we can get in the red zone. We could get a lot of scoring opportunities. Even if it's 4th and 1 in the first or second quarter and we're down, 7-3, take the field goal because we've been field goaled before against the Ravens and now just the
Vikings.
The Vikings. Jeez, the Ravens and the Vikings. So it can happen. And the Lions we have just had one more field goal. We win 2019 if there was a way we get the ball back and we drive and win. But I think that we can win games off of field goals just because Anthony Lynn has been going crazy as an offensive coordinator.
Yes, we definitely can. You got to take the field goals. That's how this game's going to be won. It's how every game's going to be won if you're a Detroit Lion. You need to take the points. I think Dan is slowly realizing that. He wanted to come out and be a very aggressive John Harbaugh-esque coach. He realizes that his team is not built for that right now. Let's take the field goals. I agree. We doing predictions right now?
Yeah, predictions. And how do we win this game? Give us a couple of takeaways. And Nick, I know you'll be at the game, but I might honestly be at the game too. I'm trying to get tickets, see if I can get some nosebleeders. Maybe go party with the favorites. That'd be awesome time.
Oh man.
So yeah, maybe we'll get that done. But if not, you guys are gonna get a little breakdown with me and Julius on Sunday morning, and even Julius, maybe he might go solo. Who knows?
That'd be crazy.
If not, either you're getting a double whammy of me and Nick at the Lions game, in which
maybe we'll go live.
Yeah, we definitely will. That'll be a fun time. So,
I could go live next to my dad. He'd be interrupting too much. He'd be covering. He would steal the show. They wouldn't even want to listen to us. They'd just listen to my pops the entire time. So.
Dads are always great at Lions games. Gotta love them.
Absolutely.
But Nick, how are we getting the job done here? Obviously, the offense for the Bengals looks good, but are there any other keys to victory?
Yes, there are. And it is Deandre Swift. Just feed the dude and Jamal Williams. Just feed the running backs. Just get the running backs heavily involved. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hawkinson's going to take all the pressure away from all the other receivers. That's why he's not going to have big stats. We're not going to expect him to have big stats anymore. At least I am not going to. He is more of a decoy. That sucks, but that is what it is. It's kind of good that a tight end is going to be the decoy, leave the wide receivers open. Amon-Ra St. Brown. We said Cephas is out. Expect Khalif Raymond coming back, or to have another good game, bounce back game. And expect Hodge to have a good game. Trinity Benson, these wide receivers. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I think we're going to see 19-17 Lions victory, game-winning field goal. Austin Seibert
against his old team
flips the script against his old team. Let's go Lions!
That sounds excellent. What a great first win that would be. And I honestly think, unless someone goes crazy, I think the first win game ball should definitely go to Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that gives it away. He can't give it to himself.
That's true. So then
whatever player gets it, yeah.
Because I'm not sure. Did you see Justin Herbert? He did this early in the season. I forget what he did it for, but he held on to the game-winning football the entire game just to wait till the locker room to give it to his head coach. And finally, when the coach celebrated Justin Herbert and said he got the game ball, he obviously didn't have the game ball to give him. So Herbert pulled out and said, "Here you go, coach. You deserve this one." And they all went crazy. And man, oh man, I would love to see a moment like that in the Lions locker room where Goff, Swift, Hawkinson, whoever says, "Nah, this is yours, coach."
That would be epic. I'd be crying. I love it. Let's go.
But touching in on Deandre Swift and needing to feed him, I think that is an absolute key too. We saw Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon kind of have their way with the Bengals, in which Jones went 14 for 103, Dillon 8 for 30. Jones ripped off a 57-yard run, looked pretty good. Swift, very similar player as Jones, ever so capable of going over 100 as well. And honestly, I think him and Jamal are going to make a great 1-2 tandem. I am going to go a little higher scoring, 27-24 Lions. I think we do field goal them. I think we get a couple touchdowns, but all in all, I think the Bengals should put up some points too. But I think the Lions get the first dub of the year. So thanks everyone for joining. As always, you can check out us check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. Check out Nick on Twitter at Nick Faber NFL. Check out myself on Twitter at Everyday FFB. And then, of course, check out our pin tweet we got going. It's a signed Hockenson ball. And honestly, we might do a little tweak into this tweet in which you might be able to earn some extra entries into it. But regardless, we are giving away a signed TJ Hockenson ball. And it's not just your typical football you throw in the backyard. This is a nice old Lions embroidered Detroit Lion on the side of it. White football signed. I will say Hockenson has an interesting signature, but it's TJ Hockenson's signature. So that's all that matters. So all you have to do is just sign up with codes LIONS on the Prize Picks app. Be a first-time depositor. Deposit $10. Whatever you deposit up to $100, Prize Picks will match you. Deposit 50, get 50. Deposit 20, get 20, etc. So use code LIONS to enter into that TJ Hockenson signed football giveaway. And we will see you guys all next week.
Real quick, last note I see in the comments mentioned about the Lions loss being the Colts loss being a Lions loss. About time the NFL starts to recognize and everyone starts to put it out there in the world. This stuff shouldn't be happening to the Lions all the time.
Yeah, and
terrible.
For anyone who's not really familiar with what we're talking about, Steve Levy, at the end of the Monday Night Football game when Lamar Jackson made a phenomenal 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter, down 25-9, Steve Levy goes, and the Colts lose and a Lions loss or something along the lines of that. But
whatever it was.
This was a Lions type of loss, and it kind of was. And honestly, Nick, we are starting to get the recognition of just.
And I get like this is just a bad loss for the Colts, but ultimately there were bad penalties in that game that allowed the Ravens to do it. I hope that the NFL starts to realize that you can't just make the Lions be the bottom feeders forever. They need to understand that they're making terrible calls to put us in this sorts of situation. And I'm glad it's being recognized. I don't want it to be a verb, though. Let's change that from Lions loss to a Lions win,
Exactly. And then one final thing. I know the Lions are 0-5 and have been terrible and have always been terrible. But you know what franchise has been a just utter bust? And that's now the Super Bowl favorites? The Buffalo Bills. They had an atrocious 20-year run just like the Lions, and now they are Super Bowl favorites.
Lions have a 70-year run.
Yes.
A little bit worse than 20 years. But yes, it takes one player, Josh Allen, a quarterback out of Wyoming University.
Exactly. So it might look bad now, but man, the script can get flipped at any moment with any coach, quarterback, big-time playmaker. But as always, Honolulu Blues, we will see you guys maybe Sunday, if not usual Tuesday next week.
Go Lions!